Ta-da! Holy me running. I have to see if I can not like freaking throw my screen off here, which I'm gonna, but jumping G hose a fucking fat. What the hell was I just in? Let's go to subscriptions. Oh shit! I'm gonna need my phone. Hopefully my phone's charged. No, my phone's dead. Shit. So I'm gonna have to see how I can do this. Jeff, what is up, brother man? So we're just hanging out tonight. Bacon stream. A dude jumped in there that was not very interesting to say the least. I don't know how to necessarily explain that one unless you were actually in there. DLD, what's up? I'm trying to like start my fucking YouTube up. Oh shit. Let me see something. Let me throw this down here. God damn it. Fucking YouTube bastard son of a bitch. Throw that there. You guys jump in while I figure out my ass from a hole in the ground. I may have to go get my goddamn phone charger. Because jumping Jesus, bacon. I need the Australians in here. I seriously want to talk to them about like use of force incidences and how they handle that shit. Because that's, I don't know, a very interesting conversation to me. A seriously interesting conversation. And for some reason, that conversation sticks out right now. But da, da, da. I know it's going to ask me for it. Don't ask me for my phone, you cocksucker. I know I set up 2 fucking step verification. Let's do tap your tablet. Oh shit! I'm gonna have to get my damn phone charger. So, someone jump in if you want, and we're just shooting the shit tonight. Active self protection channel. Yeah, that's it's interesting to say the least. So fuck, I don't have it in here. So you guys give me just a minute. Mike, what's happening, brother man? Again, links in the chat. I've got to grab my phone so I can open up my YouTube because I messed around and logged out of it. So you guys give me a minute. Let me go unscrew some shit real fast. And then we're gonna hang out and we're just gonna shoot shit. And we'll chill out and do whatever. Because God damn it, I love my man Bacon, and damn it, I love him. That went sideways. So give me a minute. Yeah, Kurt, I got you on that one. Head about to explode. Yeah. Um, dude, Kurt, why are you not asleep already, dude? You said you just drove back from like fucking South Carolina back to Michigan. You're supposed to be in bed already. Um, I love you, brother. You need to get some rest. Yeah, yeah, Dark. You might as well just let me get some shit started. You might as well just come on in here and we'll shoot the shit. And it seriously would be cool if I could get the Australians in here somehow, because they off the wall, but fuck, we're all off the wall. But it'd be nice to shoot shit with them about what things look like in Australia versus here, and say defensive uses and things like that. That would be a cool conversation for me. I think that's an awful interesting conversation actually. Uh, but yeah, dude jumping in there and Bacon shot old boy in the head and all this other bullshit coming up. I'm out. Um, I gotta do shit. Um, all right, DLD, brother. We seriously got to do just a sit down to shoot shit one day though, not channels, not anything else, just to shoot shit. Um, so get some rest, brother. Love you. Take care of the kiddo, all the 9 yards. You know it already. Fuck the dumb shit, and just be a cool dude like you always are. Um, yeah. Hopefully, dude, I will be half-ass right tomorrow to catch your show. The last couple times, last couple shows, to be honest with you, I've been hurt like a motherfucker. I've taken a lot of shit, gone to sleep early, and then caught your shit in the morning when I woke up, and then I'm fucking with everybody's damn chats. That's what I'm doing. Um, and then, of course, the stuff with freaking Strike or whoever it was the other day, I had to go screw with them. So, um, but you already know it, brother. Appreciate the shit out of you, Dark. You're a cool dude. Get some rest, and we'll catch you on the flip, man. Hopefully, I'll catch your show tomorrow night or tonight. Well, yeah, it's tonight now. Fuck it. Hopefully, I will. I plan on it anyway. So, all you guys say goodnight to Dark. Love Dark because Dark's. I told Dark one night personally. Um, he's a dude that's much like Bacon. He plugs us into so many different communities that it's you can't quantify it. You really can't. Um, and that's one of the reasons that I think he's such a cool dude, because he does plug us into so many different places, prepper communities, freaking just gun communities, which were a lot of us are already in that. Just tons of different stuff. But he's just that dude, and him, Crump, other guys that I've had personal conversations with. If you guys haven't had those talks with him, I'll explain it to you very simply. These guys are exactly who they seem like they are. They're really good dudes. Um, I tell everybody all the time, I'm the same way that I am on a stream that I am in person. I am the same exact person. We may talk about things a little bit more in depth one way or the other, but that's a general conversation. So, when we look at guys like a lot of the guys that I follow, you guys follow, hell, we all got here in a lot of the same cases. Um, Pretty much every person that we run into in a chat together, Kurt, Jeff, right, you guys name it, Vanessa, we're all the same people. We if you've been lucky enough to have conversations with these people, they're the same people that you see on the streams. like them, love them, hate them, do whatever. They're the same people. You guys in the chat, some of you guys, one or two of you guys that I've met in person, hopefully meet more of you guys in person. You're the same people that we shoot shit about in chat. And that's a hard thing to shit, I'm gonna choke to death. Dark, I thought you were going to sleep. You're supposed to be getting some sleep. You're supposed to be a responsible adult. I mean, all that shit. My kiddo stayed up all night. I got till fucking at least 11 in the morning before I got to be a responsible adult. But yeah, it's what I'm saying. It is what it is. We all follow real people. We are all real people. Unless you got some glowy hiding in you in here, and then there ain't shit I can do for you. You're fucking lost. And I love my man Bacon Stream. I ain't saying I won't bounce back in Bacon Stream, in a little while, but because I'm going to open up some YouTube shit. But it's just, I think I'm kind of like Dark. It got a little more chaotic than normal, and I was just ready to come hang out. And that's basically what it comes down to. The Australian cats in the chat now seriously would like to sit down and shoot the breeze with them about what self-defense is, where they're at, and I have to resend that. The difference in between them and us as far as self-defense and their guns, our guns, all that shit, because it honestly doesn't sound like they understand us too much, and it sounds like we got some different ideas about them, and those are things that I'd like to hash out. Just because, I mean, fucking why not? All right, now I got the use of tubes back up. But yeah, Dark, have a good day tomorrow, brother. Fuck, man. Hell, what can I say about you besides you're a good dude and you're fucking doing your thing? That's oh, nah, done I muted myself and all this shit. But yeah, it's, and I'm gonna freaking pin something in this chat when I get around to it. So yeah, let me pin that. I'm gonna pin that in the YouTube. So the tuba uses pinned, and now we are just hanging out. And I don't really have I didn't have a plan when I started this goddamn stream. So, anybody who wants to bounce in. We hang out, we talk, we do whatever. Matter of fact, you might have to give me a sec, in just a sec. And let me go take care of something. But it's just, I don't know, kind of a weird deal. Dude popping into Bacon Stream, definitely Cloud and Waters. And Bacon Stream can get chaotic, to say the least, but it's normally not all that bad. Yeah, Corn Pop, man, you're more than welcome, man. Like I said, I might take a 2-second recess here in just a second, but yeah, jump in, brother. Because fuck, man, we all need to get an update on where you're at, how you been, all that stuff. because the hell, there ain't one of us that isn't hanging out that doesn't want to know where you're at and know that you're doing okay. So, but anybody's willing or welcome to jump in. It's just, I don't know, weird time. Nothing new. You ain't even right. And you still got to tell us how the Yotes are. By the way, Vanessa has to ask about the Yotes one more time. She's going to choke you out. I just want you to know. And the Australian buddies, I wish. Dude, Jeff, let me know, man. No matter where you're at, let me know. If it's fucking drivable for me, homeboy, we'll at least sit down and have a beer. I got zero problems with that. Give me just a second. Let me disappear for just a sec. I got to hit the bathroom. So I drink beer. I got to pee. It goes along with drinking beer. Oh, man. Orange Beach. I have to look up exactly where Orange Beach is at and where you're coming from. Because depending on where you're coming from, you may not come that far past me. If you're just down in Orange Beach and I can make it down there, fuck it, dude. Like I said, we'll at least have a beer. That's like meeting P38 when I went to Dalton, because I ended up having to pass right past Wilbur when I went up. And meeting Wilbur was cool as shit. Because, I mean, let's face it, man, all you guys are cool as fuck. So, I mean, being able to go up there, and I'm not like some YouTube personality and all this shit, but going up there, having a beer with him, hell, eating a hamburger with him, and shooting shit with him, that shit was fucking, I mean, that shit was cool as shit. And there's a lot more dudes, well, a lot of you guys that I would like to meet at some point, just to sit around, shoot shit, shoot guns. I mean, do whatever and just seriously have that conversation in person. And that's, if I hit Atlanta again anytime in the next fuck forever, I got Wilbur's number now, and I'll hit Wilbur up and say, hey, dude, I'm headed to fucking your area, and let's hit another joint, have another drink, eat another hamburger, shoot the breeze, all that. So, and if any of you guys find your happy asses coming down through Alabama, and for a lot of you guys who don't realize, is if you're coming from a lot of places north of me, if you're coming down to Florida, you will more than likely pass through Phoenix City, Alabama, Columbus, Georgia, or Seal, Alabama. And if you're coming through any one of those places and we can hook up and at least drink a beer, I'm down, because I'm right there in that area. And hell, even if I had to drive a little while. Chris from the 740 was in Alabama not too long back, and if it wasn't for the fact where it was a day where I had the kids with me and the wife was working and a bunch of shit, dude, I was going to drive up to freaking North Alabama and go meet him, because an hour and a half, 2 hours away, somewhere around there. Wouldn't have been a bad drive. But I was going to hit it up there and go meet him. Because he's just, he's another one of those cool cats. So that would have been a cool gig. If I could have made it that day, that would have been a cool gig. So definitely any of you guys that I can meet, that'd be a cool gig. I still want to meet it down at goddamn Florida and go hang out down in damn Hoff's back damn pocket for a little while and learn more gunsmith and shit from him. Because let's face it, it's the fucking Hoff. And eventually I'll pester the shit out of him enough to where, he'll let my psycho ass drive down there. I promise not to stalk him too much. Maybe a little, like this much. Not horribly. I'll go home if he tells me, at least 2 or 3 times, maybe 4. 5, 6. Don't tell him that. Dude, Jeff, where are you actually at, man? Are you actually down in Florida? Because if you're actually down in Florida, that could be a drive that I would make. Because if you're just talking about hog hunting, I got fat bitches up here. No, I'm just kidding. I got hogs all over the place by me. Tampa, shit, that wouldn't be a bad roll. What I seriously and truly, if you guys don't follow him, Carry Trainer, if you look him up on YouTube, it's Mick something. I can't remember his last name. Another firearms trainer. They do a huge event down in Florida sometimes. And that's seriously what I would like to make it to, because they do a bunch of shooting stuff. They do a bunch of medical stuff. It's just off the rails. Their big event, I think, is maybe up in Tennessee. It's a freaking, hold on, because we'll look at it. Hell, let's look at some shit, because you guys might be interested in some of it. See, that's Hell, there was something else I was going to look up, and I can't remember what it was. Trainer. Yeah, you guys can forgive me because I can't type this shit. See what I can find this. Oh. She ain't part of Carry Trainer, but I carry her. It's 280 stuff. Where in the fuck? Why is it not? There's Carry Trainer stuff. Videos. It's active shooter drills. They do a bunch of that. Give me a second, guys. Let me see where I can find this. Because even the freaking video of this stuff is freaking crazy good. And I've been following Carry Trainer for so long, I can't. Da, da, da. Yeah, Bacon needs to learn how to kick a troll over. I think he was having way too much fun with that shit, and I can't fault him for that, not one bit. Because God knows, trolls can be fun. Trolls can be seriously fun. But I'm trying to find this video from Carry Trainer. Like I said, I've watched him so long that it's hard to freaking. It's hard to see which one or where it's at because this dude puts out so much good freaking content. Breath and mobility. I ain't doing that shit right now because my back is fucked. Yeah, you guys are gonna see me like looking all crazy at my damn screen right now. So you have to put up with me. I wonder if I can look them up. Because it's one of their big classes, and I can't remember where they do it. It says the S2. I'm going to find this. Before I freaking die, I'm going to find this event. Colin Noir. I ain't worried about him. Is it the S12? That's close quarters. Maybe it is the S12. Hold on. Like leaning all up on my keyboard, about half-ass smoked right now. That's their range day. T-Triple-T treat. I'm gonna learn to fucking talk one day. I swear to God. Maybe not, but let's see. Corn Pop's here. Corn Pop, what's up, brother? You here? Corn Pop. Jazz hands. Can you hear me? Corn Pop, can you talk? Do you have a voice? Are you hostage? Do we need to rescue you? Still can't hear you. And I'm not muted, so it's you. One second. Soldier Girl, what's up? Soldier Girl, you're another one. Links in the chat. You can jump in. We might watch some Carry Trainer stuff here in just a second. I can hear you before you. Yeah, I can hear you now.
You hear me?
Yeah, we got you now.
Yeah, I don't know what was happened before, but
So what's been going on, man? You've been like hit by 14 hurricanes and all
yeah,
that shit. And
it's the
oh shit,
we're
wrong
it
button.
it it's still pretty much shut down at the beach and on Sanibel and everything, but Pine Island's still pretty bad, but they got mostly everything cleaned up. I mean, there's still just the roads are just piles and piles and piles of brush and debris just on the sides. It's going to take them probably a year to clear all the stuff out of here.
Oh yeah, dude, it's gonna take them a long time, man. It's no different. Hell, when we got hit with hurricanes in Louisiana, fucking it wasn't as bad for us because unless a hurricane actually hit like Lake Pontchartrain and then ran through the North Shore, we were golden. You guys are right there, right in the fucking shooting lane. So
Oh, shit. Sorry, I accidentally opened the other window.
yeah, no, we got you, brother. But I mean, as long as you're good, that's what matters, man.
Yeah,
Um,
tired, man. Freaking.
how's
No,
the fam and everybody doing?
everybody's good. Where is the coyote? Oh, there he is. Being quiet. He's all stretched out on the floor, being a coyote. He's a good dog.
He's a good dog, man.
He's a good boy. Y'all stretched out.
But yeah, man, everybody's been worried. In case you haven't noticed, everybody's been worried about you. Everybody's been asking about you.
Yeah, everything's good. I thought I updated everybody a while back, but yeah, everything's good. We were lucky compared to like a lot of people. I mean, but we still had quite a bit of damage, but
Yeah,
house didn't go completely underwater or anything. If I wouldn't have sold my old house last year, it would have been under probably 6 7 feet of water.
yeah. I heard you say you said that in one of the chats the other night. You said something about the car and the place, and if you hadn't sold it, it would have been under the water.
Oh
And
yeah, so much stuff would have been underwater. My dad had his old '72 Corvette over there, like he was stored.
that's what it
That
was.
would have been underwater. Like he had,
Yeah,
we had a boat on a trailer in the garage. It was another one of my dad's boats that I let him keep in there, and that would have floated up off the trailer and probably went to the ceiling of the garage.
yeah,
Um,
easily.
it it sucks. One of my old neighbors, 'cause I went over there the next morning, like to, because I knew it was bad there because how low it was, and the one of my neighbors had like in ground like propane tank, and like he had spent like a big generator, but he didn't like mount it up high. He didn't like it was on like a little bit of a build up, but it wasn't high, so the whole fucking generator went underwater.
Oh yeah.
Like it's like you said all this money, like all unprepared, and like none of it. Like I just saw the frustration. She's like, "Damn it," just
Dude,
yeah.
that was, we got caught by, and I can't remember which storm it was. When we were in Louisiana, we were on the we were in Lacombe, Louisiana, right on the North Shore of Lake Pontchartrain, all that shit. And I can't remember which storm it was, but that bitch just slow rolled it and just dropped rain everywhere. Um, and our house set on just enough of a little bit of a rise where we didn't get any rain in the house or any water in the house. But
That's what
I
when I
could
moved.
take my four wheeler out in the yard, and I was 16 at the time. I could take my four wheeler out in the yard, and I could chase fish around in the fucking front yard. That's all I did. I was like motoring around having fun with the shit.
Well, the flooding went away relatively quickly. I mean, it by the next morning it was gone, but like that was like a day long hurricane. Like
Yeah,
it started to hit us at about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. It started getting windy, maybe even earlier than that, like getting some outer bands, and then it got like really windy around like probably 7 7:30, and then the eye came over us about probably like 10:30, 11 or so, and maybe a little later, between like probably 10 and 12. I forget exactly, but and then it was weird because like it was moving so damn slow. That was
Yep.
it. Charlie was a lot smaller storm, but it had some high winds, but it moved fast. It wasn't as high winds as this storm, but that was so far the worst storm I'd been in. Irma hit a little bit more south of us. So I did like Irma. There was maybe like 100, like, and and that storm was a decent size. So and it wasn't moving as slow as this one, but it was kind of slow. So I remember that being like a several hour, like rain,
Yep.
pretty much 3/4, 2/3 of the day. It was real windy and a lot of rain. But this one, I mean, it just poured rain. And then I had never experienced storm surge. Like storm surge is from like, because it doesn't get surge when it's coming up to you. Like, well, it depends, I guess, on where you are in
Yeah.
relation to
Depends
the
on
eye.
where you're at, and as far as that rotation. If you're where the wind's pushing, you're going to get that surge.
Like when it was, so it must have been when it was spinning. When it first hit us, it was sucking the water out. Like, it was pouring
Yep.
rain on us. So when the eye crossed and we hit the other side of it, it's just like everything flooded like so quick. And I remember like I didn't get the perspective of like watching the river when it went up. Like I watched the videos on my sister's phone. She was over at my dad's house with him, and well, her house is on the same street, but her about, I think, like 10 o'clock, the patio blew off her house, and when the patio blew off her house, um, like connected to the back of the house where it's like a little patio area with like a grill and stuff, and
Yeah.
that blew off. A support beam came down, knocked out her back sliding glass window, and when that window knocked out, the wind blew through the house and flew the both front doors open. It's just like it ripped all the ripped the top lock, the lock, in the middle, and the bottom lock. All that stuff was locked. It just tore it out of
Yep.
the house. And so they, in the middle of the storm, had to run over to my dad's house, and they're upset about that. But then they're thinking the whole time that the whole house is going to go underwater, because you see, the eye came and kind of, the whole dies down during the eye. But when the got on the other side of it, it was probably water coming up like a foot a minute, like
Yeah. Yeah.
fast.
It's crazy how fast it comes up.
Yeah. And yeah, it literally stopped at her house. Like, it's a driveway coming up a little bit, and there's like a little brick area that steps up when you go to the front door. And then there's like that little like metal piece at the bottom of the door where like the weather
Yep.
strip, it literally stopped. Like if that weather stripping piece hadn't been there, it would have been probably like about that much water in the house. But
Yep.
that's what stopped it. And it's still got some water in just from the wind blowing because there was like waves in the street.
Mhm.
And that's my old neighbor. Like my old neighbor owned Fort Myers, or not Fort Myers, Florida Weekly. It's like a newspaper publication, like pretty big here in Florida. It's like every grocery store has one. It's like old people get them a lot, and they he had just bought this doctor's old house that was on my street, because my old house wasn't on the water. It was surrounded by, because it was like a point that by where the property was that my house was on, and like all the houses around me were all waterfront, but mine wasn't.
Yep.
Mine, and there was my house and one other house that were not on the water. They were just surrounded by neighbors that were behind me or around me that were on the water. And like the people on this side there's a creek called Whiskey Creek which ran out, and those houses, like I said, we're on a creek, and the houses like here perpendicular to them were right on the Caloosahatchee, and they got hit real bad because, well, I guess even the other people did, because the when the water came up, it was blowing across the river, and there was like huge, like 3-4 foot waves. So not only was the storm surge already up high, then you'd have like these swells come in. So just all their glass, like any bit that the water was pressing up against from the waves pushing up against it, like the hydraulic effect, it blew the glass out of
Yep.
their houses. Um, and the guy had just spent like he's a really wealthy guy, but the guy had just spent like 1.5 million, like redoing the house and like everything. And like he
Oh yeah.
ended himself because like, he figured, oh yeah, it's fine. I mean,
No.
like my dad said, he had lived here his whole life. He'd been through Donna. Donna is always known as like people who've been in Florida a long time, like bad one. Like my dad said
Yep.
that was before like hurricane straps and stuff. So my dad remembers watching, like, looking out his window and seeing houses' roofs like kind of come up and like fold over like a book.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And but yeah, there was none of that. But my dad, like, there is a, because I drove over there at about 9:30, and my dad's freaking out. I didn't get the point when he was really freaking out apparently, but like there was some point at like 12:30 or something. My dad's like, "We're gonna leave. We're gonna leave," and because my dad was surrounded by a bunch of women and a weak male, because my sister's boyfriend was there. He's a pathetic excuse for a male, and then it was like three women that were there. So it was, all the women were freaking out, and he's like, he went into like captain mode and was like, "We're gonna leave," and it's like, well, where the fuck are you gonna go?
Yeah,
Like,
where are you going to go at that point? Yeah,
yeah,
everything's freaking. It's
yeah.
either underwater or it's going to be underwater. One of the two.
He had his 25. He took one of the shop trucks home. He had like the 2500 work truck, and he had his Escalade, but it's like, or even with the truck, I don't think that he could have drove it out without where the street is. I think it probably would have sucked up water into the airbox. Like a lifted truck would have probably been okay, but like even a stock like Duramax 2500, like I don't think it would have made it out of there. Like
Yeah,
it was high,
yeah.
and
It's when you get to that point, and people don't realize, hell, here now I deal with tornadoes. This is our big thing. I'm fucking tornado bait. So tornadoes come through. Tornadoes have massive winds that rip things to pieces. In a hurricane, you have storm force winds, then you have the rain and the storm surge. So you got a triple deal going on with them.
well, this was
And
our winds too. Category 5 starts at sustained winds above 165 miles an
yep,
hour. It hit
yeah,
Fort Beach, which was the first place it hit. There were sustained winds of 102 miles an hour, so it's 3 miles an hour short of a
yep,
Category 5, and there were gusts up to like 175, but
yeah.
that doesn't count in the rating system.
And
But
then that's again equating things to what people understand about a tornado. Tornadoes tend to be a couple miles wide. Hurricanes tend to be hundreds of miles wide.
what's
So
like, because I know there's like with the F1 through the F5, like the F5s, those can like the actual funnel can be like a mile wide on those, can't they?
yeah, oh, they. But again, when you equate something like a tornado to a hurricane, and I've lived in places where I've dealt with both, tornadoes tend to be very violent storms, but they tend to be a lot smaller.
Yeah, but it's like
And
300-mile-an-hour winds in a
yeah,
tornado. Like, can you even build it? Like, if you have an F5 go over your house, like let's pretend you're super
oh no,
well.
you're toast.
Yeah,
No,
there is no building a house
no,
strong enough to withstand that, right? Like
no,
it's just
you
like having a
yeah,
storm so you don't die.
yeah. No, you're screwed.
Yeah.
It's if you have an F5 run you over, like dead over you, unless you have a storm shelter, and I'm talking about concreted metal doors, whole 9 yards, and it's built into a low area, hang it up. You're toast. You're not doing anything. Um,
What's crazy is a year before this happened, like it wasn't even a full year, about 8 months before this, my buddy's house, there was like a rash of tornadoes, like
yeah.
right when the front hit us. And there's a road called Iona that comes off this other road called McGregor. And this basically it was like three different tornadoes. One hit Naples and two of them were in Fort Myers. One was right by where my dad's house was. It blew out all the screens on his pool
Yep.
patio. It didn't directly hit him. It was close enough that he got some of the strong winds from it, so it blew all the screens out. Like, but there's awesome videos if you type in like tornado Fort Myers. Like, it's from like like some camera on the top of like this condominium that's nearby. It's like a 10 or 12 story condominium, and it looks out. You can see like the river and like all these,
Oh,
different subdivisions and
yeah.
stuff. You see the tornado going through and just like lifting stuff up, like roof tiles, like palm
Oh, yeah.
fronds, everything it's like someone just taking stuff and throwing it up in the air, and then
Yeah.
it's
It's like you take your toddler and you put them in a room with like little small houses and feed them a bunch of damn sugar and just watch them peel shit apart.
well, it's like take
Um,
a vacuum hose and like watch it, except like or with like the wet dry vac, but you don't have a filter in it, so like you're sucking it up, and then
yep.
it if you had it so the output was vertical, so it just shoots stuff back out and it falls down like it's
It's crazy.
my
It
boss,
was
the tornado went over his house and it lifted his roof off, and when the roof slammed back down, it like knocked down a wall, and he had just gotten a new German Shepherd puppy, and the wall fell on his dog. So like as soon as
oh
it was
god.
over, he had to go and like drive up to Sarasota and like to some emergency vet, because this happened at like 6:30 in the morning. So like as soon as it was over, he had to like, even though his house was just ruined, there's like
Yeah.
everything you have, your pictures, your everything you have, it's just scattered all over the neighborhood, God knows where. But he just had to go take care of the dog, go get it put in a cast, and figure that all out. But yeah, man, like I guess that was kind of an omen for because I
That's,
joke like, oh, this ain't gonna be shit, like fucking all these non-natives, like making fun of like people in the grocery store, a week before ahead of time, like there's no water, and just that whole like mentality. And
well, they don't understand what's going to happen to them. They have no
those people
clue.
were assholes too. Like those people that have that attitude that like they're just like, oh, I'm gonna buy everything. Like they were the ones like held up in their house, like because like it's like the Florida like way that like, okay, when afterwards like everybody in the neighborhood gets their chainsaws out, you go out and clear the roads. Like you see if your neighbor needs any help. Like there are some people just like I haven't started my generator in 6 years. It's like, yeah, well, you got to start it every year. You get that old gas
Yeah.
that's in it, like and they're just
Every 6 months, start it, let it
they're.
run, or every hell 3 months for that matter.
I guess it was people just expecting that like FEMA was going to be here the next day, or like some state program. And what DeSantis had FPNL organized real well, Florida Power and Light. They had tons of out of state people come in. Actually, one of the people in DLD, I won't say his name, but he was offered to like come out, like get an extra raise and like be here as like one of the people for when that was going to happen. But yeah, they had tons of those people just on standby, and we were still. I mean, you saw like immediately after the storm, there's FPNL trucks driving all around, and not that we were out of power for about 3 weeks, but yeah, some places like places near fire departments or sheriff department or whatever, they got power back on probably within, I don't know, 5 days to a week. It's weird. Like once you went inland enough to like Lehigh Acres or more inland parts of Naples, some of those places never even lost power, but like
No,
every
no.
it was within probably 20 miles of the coast, like in the Fort Myers, Naples area, they.
Well, you run up on places with higher, and it's hard to tell there. Like Louisiana, it's fucking flat ground. It's hard to tell where some of the higher ground is and then lower ground, unless you run over railroad tracks, and then you see a mound. Other than
Wealthy,
that, it's
but everything's above ground power lines. Like
yeah,
a lot of the really, really wealthy places in Naples, it's all buried power lines.
yep.
So you don't worry about like that as much as far as like the, tree gets into the power lines and then cuts out this entire street worth of
Yeah.
power. Like
Well,
houses.
we had a fucking pretty even plan living on North Shore Lake Pontchartrain. If it was a Cat 3, we boarded up windows, no problem. We can ride that out, no problem. I mean, board windows, let it go. If it was above a Cat 3, our asses were headed somewheres the fuck else.
Yeah, it's almost worth
You
it. Like
know,
have like we had our business and everything there, like we had like stuff to keep tabs on. But yeah, if like you don't, if you're just working for somebody else
yeah,
or you don't have much, like yeah, that's the thing to do. Just go like you
yeah,
know
we had the house. I was working for other people at the time, and it was like, look, it's real simple. We can throw plywood up over windows. Our house never flooded before, even though it was on a slab, and let it ride. I mean,
yeah,
we can figure it out after that.
like maybe drive back a day or two afterwards,
Yeah,
just everything, but then you go back, then you can go back to the hotel because there's no point in just sitting there for
No, dude.
weeks.
No.
No AC, no power, no. And
Uh-uh.
we were like one thing that like because my dad's never really been a prepper, but I kind of like I had bought him like for his birthday about what was it about 2 years ago. It's a John Deere. It's not a John Deere like brand the generator, but it has a John Deere engine in it. It has a four
Like
cylinder.
a Generac or something like that.
I think it actually is a Generac. It's a four cylinder turbo diesel
Yeah.
John Deere engine in it, but it's a I think it's either 38K. I think it's a 40K kilowatt generator. Like my dad has a big house and it runs his whole house, no problem. Everything in the house. But the way my dad is, like, always waits the last fucking second. Like, we had this set up outside. It's built up on like a lifted metal frame, and underneath the metal frame's a huge diesel tank.
Yep.
Big muffler system. Like, it's quiet as hell. And like I said, a lot of those people had like the quiet, even more quiet and propane systems, but it's like, okay, you run it even if you had it built up high, unlike my one neighbor from my old house by my old neighborhood. It's like you run out of propane, the street is barely cleared. You can't, it's not like you're going to call up some propane service to come and fill your tank. Like, maybe you can go run to some camping place and get little tanks and like run it for a little bit for just to keep your freezers going or something. But it's like a lot of that stuff is like that really behooves you to have like diesel generator or a gas
Yeah.
generator. It's just so much more efficient. And we had the night before we went, and it's weird, gas was out of everywhere. Like, even the day, like a day and a half, 2 days before, they had fuel trucks coming in, but you had to like I went and filled up 255-gallon drums in my truck at like 1:30 in the morning, like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
the
Well, that's what you do.
and so I was kind of got lucky. He already had two drums. We had end up having five drums total. I had two drums in the back of my truck strapped down, and then my dad had his work truck with two drums strapped down. And that, we only ever had to go and refill two additional drums for like the entire. Maybe we had to do two drums, but I don't think we even used those. Like, everything we had, like between the five drums and would like lasted us for that entire like 2.5, 3 weeks. And
Yeah.
it was an efficient, like I say, it's an efficient generator. Like, it just sipped fuel, man. And I don't know,
I
definitely.
mean,
I said, because my dad's older, like he's his health isn't good and stuff. So I just felt so glad. But the one thing we haven't like, so I said, it wasn't hooked up. So we have an electrician in our family, like I guess he'd be one of my cousins, and God bless his soul, he came over at like 8:30 in the morning the next day and was like wiring everything up, like the 220, all that stuff. And it didn't look like super nice. Obviously, it was just
hey, it's got to work.
a hot
That's all it's
exact
got to do.
hodge just to get it set up.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit if it looks Jimmy rigged, so be it. And but yeah, so that he got it wired up, and it had been sitting there for like a year and a half. So I was like, like, I hope like this thing's gonna, but it's old, it's John Deere, it's cranked right up.
Yeah.
No faults or anything. So that was cool. But
That's the kind of shit, man. That a lot of people, especially moving down to an area like that, don't realize it's there's a lot of self-reliance and a lot of hey, we can do it built into that. And they come down there and they think, oh well, hey, government, and no, government ain't gonna be there. Not for a while. Matter of fact, government couldn't give a flying rat's ass about your ass at that point.
yeah, FEMA wasn't really worth a shit. I mean, they had maybe in the 5 days later they had like meals they were handing out, MREs, but it was like, oh, there was all these restaurant people, just local people, just setting up in parking lots. Just, it's like, well, our freezers only had food's going to be good for this long, so they're just cooking every, places that there was like some of like you get stuff you get at Outback, or like if for
Yeah.
any run around, like they're just out there cooking, out in the middle of a parking lot, and it's like good food, like and it's
Yeah.
like free food for like first responders, and it was free food for everybody. They weren't charging anybody, but you go get a meal, and then there was like like the Cajun, what were they called, the
Cajun Navy.
down, like, and they had their airboats and stuff to get in some areas that were bad, and which that was needed for like Sanibel. Sanibel, Fort Myers Beach got, I would say, Fort Myers Beach and Sanibel are about tied. Sanibel's only worse because, well, I don't know, Pine Island was pretty bad. The hardest hit spot, like we got hit bad, but like we were like the secondary bad spot. The first place tied for bad was Fort Myers Beach, Sanibel, and Pine Island. Like, because Pine Island, Sanibel, Pine Island's like a little strip of land. It's not really a bridge to get to it, but that the storm washed that away. Like the little tiny like pass that is just real narrow part of the island that there's a road on to get through. That was gone. Like it was now. It now actually was, and it wasn't really a peninsula anymore. It was actually an island, and not like a shallow pass. Like it made it like a 50-foot deep spot there. It was crazy, and then Sanibel Bridge like lost a section on both ends, not just on one end. And Sanibel Island's like an island chain. They lost the first bridge on like both sides, and like the middle part stayed up, and then the second span that's like probably 10 miles down, connecting the first island to the second island, that bridge in the middle dropped out. And then those people, like mostly that's like we have super, super, like obviously wealthy people there. But the houses that are inland on Sanibel, there's people that bought property in the 60s, 70s, 80s. There's normal middle class folk, not like super rich or anything. It's just like the more inland houses, just like, little half-acre lots and stuff. And those people I really feel bad for, because like those people, a lot of them, like the elderly people, died because there was nowhere to go. Like if you had a little single-story house, even if you had everything, even if you had a generator or everything, it didn't matter. Like you could have gotten up into your attic. You're up in your attic, and water's kept on rising. They got the same amount of storm surge as Fort Myers Beach. They got 18 feet of storm surge. Some people say 20 feet, but 18.
Crazy.
The official number is, but so yeah, if you just had like even if you had like I forget what kind of roof, but not a not a flat roof, but like a V roof. I'm not a
Well, if you had something, your standards, how many even 10 on 12? It's damn. Like mine right now. Mine's
like
not.
You had a second story. You were fine, probably, and got away with it. But then afterwards, it was just a nightmare. But it was really eye opening seeing like they had the CH-47 Chinooks flying back and forth to the island for like probably 2 weeks, and you could always tell because they flew refrigerated. Like there was these big shipping containers, and you could tell certain ones had refrigeration units on it, and they would fly it there, and then they'd fly it out, and those were the bodies they were taken back.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's like it's real sad. You could smell it like after about a week, because I was down there just helping clean stuff up, and like you could smell, like just they're finding people's dogs, elderly people.
Oh, yeah, everything. I mean, because you got to figure everything, every animal, every person, when you're in a situation like that, you're in the same fucking boat, same house.
There was birds on the side of like my dad's house. Like I guess they just, you always wonder where the fuck do birds go in the middle of the storm. Well, I guess these birds didn't get the fuck out in time, and they were just right along the wall. Like they must have just slammed into the side of the building.
Oh, that stuff, yeah, it's crazy. That's why I said, when we lived in Lacombe, just south of Lake Pontchartrain, which my uncle and a bunch of guys that were with the family when Katrina hit, they were part of the levee board. They stayed in New Orleans when all that shit happened. They saw everything that happened, and saw some really nasty shit. Us, hell, I think we had moved. Hell, where were we at then? I think we had moved then. We were out of Louisiana then, but it was holy shit, Louis there, this person's there, that person's there, and they're in the middle of it. But when we were in Lacombe, Category 3, no problem. We'll ride it out.
Yeah.
If it got above a Cat 3, fuck it, dude. We were gone. That house could hang it up.
Well, it's Coop, I really thought that it was going to be like fucking end of times looting. Like when I saw how bad things were, like fucking, and like, you know, just grocery stores in front of it, and like Target, just the doors blown out in front of it. It's like, oh, gear up, boy. It's going to be like fucking Katrina here. Like I had my fucking.
Yeah,
Mm.
Katrina was a serious. Well, I won't call it an anomaly because it's something that could happen next year.
I was driving around. Now, of course, braces were still at that time legal. I was driving around with my braced fucking 11 and a half inch AR just sitting on my dashboard in my truck,
Yeah.
just driving, passing cops. And like, you know, it's like, they're like, yeah, they understand why you're doing that. Cause, I mean, there was some looting, like here, you know, like people would break into like gas stations and get like food and shit. But it's like, you can almost understand that. Like if
Oh,
you're
dude, I can understand that
like, but there
wholeheartedly.
people running out. Like when you saw in Katrina, you saw people going into fucking the malls and like
Big
carry.
screen TVs.
There was the only place that kind of happened at. Not that they have a lot of big electronic stores. Was Pine Island. Pine Island, like because Pine Island has a lot. Not to like talk bad about people, but there's like a large like trailer park, you know,
Yeah,
mobile area, and even most
where I would live.
are really good folk. But just because you know, kind of what comes with that territory, there was like some areas there where and what's sad is that since they don't have like a lot of stories, it wasn't so much like, you know, places would get broken into and robbed. Like someone would break into a restaurant, try to take what's in the register and that kind of stuff. But there was people like going up and going through people's stuff, like, you know, seeing like, oh, well, this house is fucked. Let me go in here and see what I can steal, because there might be there's one guy that's customer of the my dad's boat business, and he's a farmer, and he when he retired as a farmer, he still like owns all the like farming equipment, and, you know, still does the farming. He just doesn't like actively like hang out at the farm anymore. His son runs it. But the old man, he you know, bought a house in Pine Island, has his like, you know, fishing, his center console fishing boat hangs out there. Well,
Yeah,
he's a big gun guy. He has like probably, you know, like some, you know, you think I have cool shit. Like this guy has like everything like NFA. Like he guy has like, you know,
yeah.
1928 Thompsons. Like he probably
Oh
has at
God.
least five hundred
Yeah,
thousand dollar collection. And he's one of those people that like you see people that have a vault, and it's like, you know, you walk in, there's just guns all around the wall, and
yeah.
it's
God
dude.
starts singing and
Well, the problem was that fucking room was on the bottom floor. You know, you don't
oh
old guns got salt water on them. Like I've fucking went over and just helped them, just sprayed them down with fucking corrosion X, and, you know, rinsed them off with warm water and sprayed them down with corrosion X. And but it's like, where do you start? Because it's like when you're there were so many to go through, but it was like, can't just sit here and take
yeah.
all of them. We got to just like try to. It's a ticking bomb getting that salt off them. Like
It
fucking
is. It really is. Because I hell, like my uncle and them, like I said, they rode out Katrina right there in, you know, New Orleans. I mean, middle of New Orleans, they rode that shit out because they were at the levee board. They had no place to go. That's where they had to be. That was work. Um, so yeah, they saw stuff like that. And then, but in the same respect, you had the army come in or the guard come in, and they took people's fucking guns, and they
that's
would
so.
literally throw them into Lake Pontchartrain, which is, of course, salt water, brackish water, depending on where you're at. I mean, they literally just fucking throw them right into the goddamn lake, and it was like,
I heard stories like that's the one of the last few really good things the NRA did was they sued the shit out of that city that was doing that. You know.
oh, they should have, because a lot of it was Saint Tammany Parish, which is Slidell, Lacombe, Mandeville kicks into another parish, I think.
Parish is like a county for Louisiana, right?
Yeah. Parishes are like counties. So, like Georgia or Alabama, say I'm in Russell County. Well, in, you know, Louisiana, it would be whatever parish is what it amounts to. It's the same idea, same workup, same structure, whole 9 yards. But you literally had the guard go in there, and there was a lot of, trust me, there was a lot of bad shit that I know people talk about that I know people that were in there talked about, that happened. But then you had St. Tammany Parish, and you had others with the guard that were going in there, and they were going in there taking people's legal firearms.
Oh yeah.
They'd stop someone on a boat. Someone on a boat would be traveling from one place to another, just trying to get the fuck out of the way. And all of a sudden they get hit by the guard, and the guard's like, "Hey, you got guns, right?" Well,
And
yeah.
it's people that have, like, they'd have them in cases, like down in a locker, and like,
yeah. One of the guns my dad has now, fuck, I can't remember who exactly that came from, but it spent, I don't know how long, in Lake Pontchartrain. It's a Mosin Nagant. It's a Polish. It's made at the Rodham factory. It's a carbine length Mosin Nagant.
M44.
Like an M44. But it spent God knows how long in Lake Pontchartrain, buried in the silt, in the salt water.
Yeah, I always forget to say lake, and I think, oh, fresh water, it'd be all right. But yeah, it's
no. Lake Pontchartrain. What a lot of people don't realize, Lake Pontchartrain is a big saltwater lake, but you have all of the bayous and stuff that flow into it with fresh water. So you end up with this brackish water, which is goddamn, that shit's fun to fish, because you'll catch saltwater fish one minute, you'll catch freshwater fish the next.
What is it like? Is there like not a dam, but like the levees, and then there's their like
around New Orleans, you have a system of levees, and all of those levees were rated for whatever storm. You've got so many different drainage systems. It's crazy around New Orleans, because New Orleans is under sea level. I mean, it's a fucking bowl is all New Orleans is.
You ever be a kid playing with like a bucket, like you build a sandcastle and you build walls around it, and you take a bucket of water and pour it out, you just take that wall right out. Like
that's New Orleans. In a nutshell, that's New Orleans. Because you went through, which even in Florida, hell, you went through decades where you didn't have well, I'll say this. You went through decades where you had a lot of really bad storms, and then you went through decades where you didn't have those storms, and people figured, screw it, we'll build down in these areas because we haven't had these bad storms for a long time. They didn't realize these storms, guess what, are going to come fucking back. New Orleans is that. New Orleans, because it's right there. Of course, you got the Mississippi coming down. It was a huge shipping area, but it was all built underwater. So,
isn't it like 10 feet underwater? Like
it's something crazy that, like Slidell, when it flooded down there one year in Slidell, we had a big storm come through, where my uncles and everybody were at. It's just one of those flukes. I mean, most of the houses by them are built on stilts. Their house isn't built on stilts. It's built, probably 3 feet off the ground, but just the contour of the land, everybody else's house flooded, theirs didn't. In Lacombe, where we were at, everybody around us flooded, but we had water basically right to our door, but it didn't get in the house. Downtown Slidell, my brother and some other people were living down there. They were chest deep in water trying to walk down Main Street. It's just as crazy. It's just the contour of the land, and I can't remember what storm that was. It's 90. I can't even remember. It was early 90s. I know that because it was before we moved and other shit happened. But it's, what you guys deal with and being out of power, and what do you do when you live down there? Because you're in the eye of the storm every time, and you're just hoping like hell the shit doesn't run your ass over. Which part of what makes Florida people like you so goddamn strong and hard-headed, because you're like,
well, we got fucking, like, we were lucky, man. Like, because even my dad, because he bought that new pretty much a mansion he's in now, like his dream house, like his final, play something he's always wanted. It was built in 2008, I think, and so it was like built up to like really new code. Like it's
Yeah.
practically a hill. It's one house from the river. It's practically on the river because like the creek is really wide where it opens up. So there's like, you have like this area that like curves in like this, and he's like right here. Like so, it's like on one of the curves. It's you're pretty much right on the river. There's only one
Yeah.
house until it like starts to go horse like parallel to the river. And but you look at like his house and the couple other like really new houses, and it's like a mound it's up on. Like and not only is it on a mound, then it's like brick, cinder block or brick, whatever, like on top of that. So like it's way up there. And even that,
Yeah.
like it came in my sister's house, which is like a late 70s built house. Like it must have just been like they were lucky and the lot was built up higher, because like there's houses that were built in the 90s that went under, but hers
Yeah.
didn't go under.
That was us in Slidell when we had one of the real bad storms come through, and it was a hurricane. I can't remember what size it was when it hit, but it just drug ass, and all it did was dropped rain, and yourself, storm surge and rain are horrible hurricanes because the water just rises. There's nowhere for it to go. So, and I can remember my dad's uncle, who I called my Uncle Clarence, my dad's uncle was supposed to come into town that night. And because he was coming in from Arkansas. So, yeah, he would have been coming in from Arkansas. So that storm hit, and it was just like this slow rolling rainstorm that just dropped. Just gallons of water. It seemed like every second. So, front yards flooded, backyards flooded. House is the only thing out of the water around us. Dirt road headed up to what is that, 190 that's running through Slidell? I can't remember. But I'm like riding my three wheeler, riding that around, and then riding up to the road, check on Clarence, and I think he ended up staying at somewhere with high ground that night. And then come back in the next morning. But it's amazing how fast that water can rise. It's a force all in of itself. It's here when we get, say, bad winds, we get a tornado. We got sideswiped by one that hit Opelika north of us. Hell, I was out on a fucking beer run. And my wife, I'm headed back in. My wife calls me and said, "Hey, a tree hit the house." Okay, that doesn't happen all that time, all that often. But I get home and it did. It took an oak tree that was, hell, I couldn't get my arms around it, and topped it off and just took the whole top of it off and laid it across the back of the house. That tornado sideswiped us, ran basically right in between me and a neighbor's property. And when it hit Opelika north of us, it decimated that town. It ripped it to pieces. They spent weeks up there cleaning that place up. There was a big banner from a store not too far from us, and it ended up across the river in Georgia, in like 2 counties over. It was just insane how much power that storm had. But it, luckily enough, like I said, it sideswiped us. It ran right in between us. But we don't have storm surge like you guys do with hurricanes. That's a whole nother deal.
It's funny. I was talking to people about like and stuff. Like, I remember when I sold my old house and we had to like move my dad's Corvette. Like all the tires were dry rotted and flat. I had it on like I think they're called like not come arounds, but they're like these jacks that like you put up under each tire and you jack it, lifts the wheel up. I had 4 of those, and that's how we like moved it around in my garage. And eventually got new tires for it and stuff. But the last time he drove that car is when he still had like his boat business in like the early '90s before the county took over the airport and fired like all the civilian employees. He was like manager of the airport back then, and like he had his boat business was like a little hobby business in like one corner of the um, one of the hangars out there, and he would always fill up his Corvette with. That's like the last time he really drove it somewhat regularly. He'd fill it up with avgas,
Yeah.
and that avgas, even like that was circa like '92, and like we fired up, started up the car in 2021, and you can take that cap off that tank and smell it. And it smells. I mean, there's no varnish. It's like
No.
100 low lead
Yeah.
avgas. Stuff does not go bad. It's not hydroscopic, and it's not
No.
maybe
That's
a
what.
little bit of
That's yeah.
but
That's what people don't realize about ethanol. Ethanol will leach moisture out of the atmosphere.
Yep.
So it will suck. It's killed God knows how many marine motors, much less car motors and shit, but definitely marine motors.
All that stuff. Like you have a generator that's carbureted or whatever. It doesn't matter if it's carbureted, or fuel, especially if it's carbureted. The stuff that you just sitting in the bowl of the carburetor, the hydroscopic, it fills up with water, and then like your entire jetting system and the bowl is just all this like
needle valves.
Unless you're
a needle valve,
you're not gonna like it's sometimes you can like soak it in some acetone and then blow it out with an air compressor, but like luxury after a storm when you don't have power, but and when you have all the luxuries of all the amenities and tools to do it, it's a bitch to clean.
Well, ethanol will, I mean, it eats rubber.
Yeah,
so a lot of your needle valves like that are in motors, because fuck me, I know I've worked on one enough since ethanol came in. Your needle valves in the carbs were basically like rubber tipped. So it would eat the tips off of those so they wouldn't seal right. And then your carburetor, you've got to pump the bulb on your motor and it just starts shooting gas out of the freaking overflow.
Gas, yeah.
I mean, and you're like, what the hell? Well, the ethanol just ate your whole fuel system. So then you got to go back in.
They have what's called Type 2 fuel line now, because that was a big thing. When they first started implementing that in Florida, like they didn't have the Type 2 fuel line yet, and it was like that was like a service item. Like you had to put new fuel line in the boat like every year. You'd cut the fuel line and look at it, like you're looking down at it, you see that like braiding that runs on each side of it, and like the hole, instead of being, it was like a 3/8 inch diameter fuel line that was like supposed to be like that, it would be like this because the whole thing would swell up, so it just like constricted it.
Yeah, it would drive you insane. And then if you had
but it still does. Just it takes 5 years for it to do it now.
Like ours, I keep a fuel filter, a glass fuel filter, and glass and mesh fuel filter on my motor all the time. So ethanol, if you don't have the right hose on it, or like one of the times I didn't have the Type 2, so I had to stick another fuel hose on it real fast. And you got to pump the bulb on it, and you can see flakes of rubber pump into your fuel filter. And it's just this black, nasty flake. And if that gets to your carburetors, you're done. You're not doing anything until you tear it all the way down, clean everything, and then put everything all the way back together.
Other thing that's on chat is none of those, like, they have like the Lucas fuel treatment, which like it will kind of help if you get like the gummy gas, like in your, it's not a Argon engine, like if your jets are kind of clogged or your injectors kind of clogged, sometimes you can get lucky and run that stuff. Like Mercury sells stuff like for outboard engines called Power Tune. It's like a similar type product, but like you go into like an AutoZone or Advanced Auto Parts, there's an entire like aisle or shelf of like, fuel like preserver, and all this kind of stuff. Like those don't waste your fucking money. Those are all fucking snake oil. The only ones that actually do anything is like for diesel, they have like anti-algae additives, and those obviously you're going to store diesel for a long time. Like algae.
The best thing I've used as far as ethanol goes is a Stable Marine. That's the best thing I've used.
Like
other than that,
say it works, but like seeing like people that brings it in that say like, well, I use the Stable like Marine, it's like, maybe it'll do.
It's definitely not 100%. Definitely not 100%. It's Stabil Marine, which if I put like regular gas in my motor, I'll throw Stabil Marine in there, and I'll make sure it mixes good. And then, but I still bleed my carburetor off every time I pull the motor out.
Well, that's the best thing you do is let it run out of gas.
Yeah.
Like there and like run, just
yeah,
the fuel, whatever, and let it suck itself dry.
Yeah.
Like
the Stabil Marine is only in case I don't do that one time. And then I've had good results with it.
and if you want to take a step, like say like whatever, for whatever reason, like because the even better step is to either like, when you go to let it get sucked dry, like put ethanol free fuel in it or put a little avgas because since that ethanol fuel is hydroscopic, the little bits of residue will absorb water in there. But if you run an ethanol free fuel or like a little bit of avgas in there, it'll not do that. But if you can't get to that, because it's a pain in the ass sometimes to get ethanol free. It's a real pain in the ass to get avgas, but you can just take like some Crozier Next or like they sell stuff Marvel Mistral oil and just dip that like your fuel line hose into the Marvel Mistral oil or spray it up in the fuel line like as the engine's still running and just let it choke out on that stuff. It'll start to smoke a little bit, but that'll preserve your cylinder walls. That'll preserve it's called fog in the engine. It'll essentially
if I can do like one of the gas stations near us now has ethanol fuel or ethanol free fuel. Regular old gasoline, no ethanol. That's what I'll put in my shit. Because I don't have to worry about it then. We did it forever before ethanol even was a thing. It was, you treated your motor like a bar whore. You got to the launch, you put it on the trailer, you pulled your motor out. You didn't do a whole lot to it unless you were doing salt water, and then you flushed it. That was it.
We have a lot of ethanol-free gasoline around just for the boat stuff, and then we have a lot of like drums of it, and we even have like some of the really high-end race motors take like 116 race gas, and we have like we have a lot, but we have some of those, so like we'll run motors with that to like choke them out, or like for lawn equipment and stuff, like two-stroke lawn equipment, you can go to Home Depot and you can buy like those pre-mixed. It's like already 5 to 1 or 50 to 1. What's nice, it's more expensive than if you were to buy ethanol free gas.
But it's way better.
But the cool thing is that it's like indefinitely good. Like in that little can, when it's sealed up, its shelf life's pretty much indefinite. It's not like it's going to last 100 years, but it's pull it off the shelf years from now, it's probably going to still be just fine.
Yeah, it won't suck moisture out of the atmosphere. So, like you say, the gas that you have in your carburetor or the bowl in your carburetor, if you've got ethanol gas in there, it just sucks moisture into it. And then you got to pump it, and then it pumps it down to your cylinders, and it's a freaking nightmare. George Bush, when he signed that order for ethanol back in the day, I could have punched him in his face.
It's such horseshit because like I don't fully understand. Like obviously it's to they're subsidizing these cornfields to put the ethanol in, so it's like was that to like ease because like it made gas a little cheap, but I don't understand how it made it cheaper because my understanding is you're putting more energy into like having to take care of corn crops, like
then you're competing a fuel crop against a food crop. And then when everybody figured out, well, we can make more money off of ethanol corn because it's a different corn, they just started making the shit for ethanol, which fucked everything else.
It's like if you really want to do good for the world, you could like still have the same loss, just give away even if you didn't sell the other corn, just give it away like for world hunger or whatever, and still and then buy like non-ethanol gas at like a cheaper price, and
especially in people can talk about Trump and all this other bullshit, but we were energy independent.
That's one thing. Like he talked a lot of talked real high about some stuff and didn't follow through. That's one thing I will give him credit and back him up on every time. Like remember gas was what, like $1.80 or what was it?
It wasn't just the price of gas we were paying at the pump. It was the fact that Poland and other countries, we were supplying them with natural gas and other fuel sources. So we were making more money internationally than we were nationally at the time.
I understand, like, we haven't, like, to my understanding, and you never really know like what's true, but my understanding with like America is like we've barely even begun to like tap into our oil supply. We've
No,
been buying
we
it all.
haven't. Yeah, we haven't. When fracking technology came along, then we really realized that we could take advantage of a lot of oil that we had and sands and stuff like that we hadn't used before. Us becoming energy independent. I'm 45, so that was the first time in my life where we were we were producing so much oil and we were producing so much natural gas. We were burning natural gas off in the field as much as we were selling it because we were producing so much. And that natural gas, in case people don't realize, is a huge energy source that we need. And now we're, I don't know, fuck all. There's, I don't know. I don't know what we're doing. Give me just a sec. I'll be right back.
You good? I'll entertain the stream.
Yeah.
So what's up? Who we got in chat? I see we got BV Luminous. We got Jeff Cron. I've seen you in there. Mike McClune. We got who else? I know there's more. There's some lurkers in there because we got 9 watching. Although I am one of the people watching. Those Coop probably, but we must have some lurkers. Some shy people that don't want to be in chat. But yeah, it's nice to have you all here. I like shooting shit with Coop. Coop's a good dude. He's like one of those. He's a neighbor. He's practically a neighbor. He's out, Florida's neighbor. But yeah, it's pretty much back to normal here. It's not nothing. No. I haven't been down to the beach actually. I wonder how bad the beach. I'm gonna look that up actually right now. I haven't been I've been by water, like drove past it, and it's fucked up still. But I don't think there's anything like open on the beach yet. The exception of maybe some gas stations or something. Oh yeah, it's funny. 13 hours ago. It's funny. I just looked this up. First Fort Myers beach store reopened since Ian. 13 hours ago.
That's fucking crazy.
That's funny.
But dude, that's in all serious, man. I'm glad you showed up tonight because all these guys in the chat and myself have been worried about you. We wanted to know what was going on with you, your dad, the yote, whole 9 yards.
Oh yeah, it's good. He has a new record. He pooped in Category 3 wins during. I think it was Irma. I think was the one because it's not the one that like hit us directly, but he pooped in like solid, like damn near Category 5. Like it was. I guess because he has a smaller surface area and he was smart. Like when the wind was blowing, like it would almost blow him over, but then he would like kind of like he would hunker down, like walk, and you see his like ears and just like his whole skin's rippling. Like I felt bad because like
you didn't have to go out there and show him up, did you? You didn't have to go there and rip him down and be like, "Look, this is the way you do it."
Well, he pointed like weather vaned into like the wind. And then like started shitting, and it's funny. Like you just saw the poop. Like it did not, how a dog it poops, and
yeah,
like it just the wind in between his legs. It just like, and there was a fence. Like the only thing that there was like some palm fronds and a fence. Like it disappeared. Like it might still be airborne somewhere. Like it's part of the
up in re-entry somewhere.
Yeah,
that's fucking hysterical.
Street has like a big like poo like splat like probably 30 feet up.
And I'm serious. I seriously I don't know whether you have noticed, but because of course you're like a staple in DLD's chats. And since all this stuff has happened, where's Corn Pop, Yotes, all that stuff has been like a key to the chats for a while. And I know Mike's in here, Jeff's in here, BB's in here. I think Vanessa still might be in here, but dude, you have been one of the biggest topics in a chat for a while since all this stuff happened, because everybody's got to know where Corn Pop's at and whether the yoke's up. Honestly, I don't know whether it's you. I think it's the yoke.
The yote's a lot. The yote's way cooler than me.
Yeah,
Like
I think if the yote's okay, you could get hit by a bus tomorrow.
Yeah, self and learn. They would.
Yeah, but
yeah.
it's dude. It's just I'm glad you came in here tonight, because in serious honesty, and I don't do serious honesty much, but you and the yoke being okay is what a lot of us have been worried about for the past little while. Especially hell, when I saw you show up in Bacon's chat earlier, it was like, okay, I know Corn Pop's okay. And I don't know whether you noticed, but Yoke came up in the chat a few times as soon as your ass popped up.
Like I haven't talked to Joe in a while. Like, it's funny, I actually talked to him the night after the hurricane, because I have like his phone number and stuff, and he called me, and I was just like, and the internet didn't work. Like, it was weird. It would work from like it was real shitty coverage. It's been real shitty. The landline internet's been real shitty up until like this week. I don't know what they fixed, but like it was faster going on the 4G or 5, whatever I have here for 5G on my phone.
4G network, whatever, hotspot.
And usually the landline, obviously, because it's, like Comcast, it's quick as hell. But for whatever reason, like, I don't know if the cable got wet or whatever, even this long after the storm, up until like a week ago, it's been slow as hell. So if I wanted to like watch YouTube or anything, I'd use the hotspot. And even that, like, the hotspot internet was shitty for like 2 to 3 weeks after the hurricane.
Yeah, at least.
But it's weird. I think because they prioritize the connection for like first responders and stuff, so it would work real good from like 1 a.m. to like 4:30 a.m, and then like after that, it was like you might not even be able to call somebody. Like after about a weekend, you had no problem calling somebody, but using any data or anything, it was like very iffy until it was like late or early in the morning. It was. So it's nice to have like full. That's probably part of the reason why I have been DLD, because it's like, this sucks. Like trying to,
dude,
go on here.
For you, it's been internet. For me, it's been a fucked up back, and I've been off and on for the last couple weeks. So
yeah, I've just been tired. Been fucking tired. Like my birthday was 2 days ago, the 16th. I'm 34.
Well, happy birthday, you old 34. You fucking puppy.
I feel fucking old, dude. Like, it's, I don't know, 34 hit hard, man.
Dude, 34 hits hard. Wait till you hit about 38, and then you're thinking, God damn, I'm 2 years away from 40.
You're only 38?
No, dude, I'm 45, you fucker.
Oh, I was like, you fucking, like, well, that would be not a cup.
Well, it ain't the years, it's the mileage.
You look kind of old for 38. You look young.
I look young for like 95.
But yeah, fucking, it was a very uneventful birthday. Just went out with family and stuff, but it was.
Well, it's good that. Well, I'll say this: it was good that it was an eventful birthday.
Yeah.
I'm going to learn to fucking talk. I swear to God, I'm going to learn to talk one day. But either way, man, I can't drive home enough how much everybody, me, myself, a bunch of guys in the chat have been fucking worried about your ass and the yoke. Well, mainly the yoke, not necessarily you, but
he is. I mean, he's the talent at the end of the day.
If the yoke could figure out how to do YouTube all by himself, we wouldn't need you. But
I really wonder, like, I've thought about capitalizing on that. Like, I always make, these people have these stupid ass YouTube channels, but I really think I could just put a camera on his ass and like, maybe narrate some things, like pretend to talk to him. And I bet I could have like a 1 million viewer channel. Like,
it probably could.
It'd be getting hell, like something like Little Old Lady, like, the cat people would watch and stuff, but it's like, that might be worth it.
You got people, are you watching the chat? You got like BV Luminous and everybody screaming happy birthday, Corn Pop, Yote.
Oh, thanks, guys.
I don't think you realize, dude, just how much you're missed when you're not around.
Well, I appreciate it. Again, I definitely I love the DLD community. It's not that I
Fuck, you better appreciate it. I could catch a bus to the face tomorrow and they wouldn't miss me, but they're
well,
like, where's Corn Pop at?
well, Jeff, but like Jeff Cron, we don't talk on like face to face on like StreamYard like Coop and I do. So like Coop ranks a little higher. No offense, Jeff Cron. So
Coop doesn't rank any higher than anybody, Corn. I'm just saying.
Coop could literally like come and find me. Like it would take him probably be like I don't know, 8-hour drive, but he could come and find me.
It'd be about an 8-hour drive. I'd have to. Well, it might be longer than that because if I'm going down there to see you, I got to go see Hall first, and then I'm coming to see you.
Yeah, you have to take a bit of a detour.
Yeah, it'd be a detour. I mean, screw fucking Flying Rich. I'm going to see Hall first, and then I'm going to come see you.
Sounds good.
I'll catch Flying Rich on the way back up.
Again,
me driving up the road with the yoke in the passenger seat talking about high five, bud.
I wanted to talk with Joe Morris. Like I always love talking with Bacon, but I had talked to him. There's some weird on that, like it's not a channel I'm even subscribed to, but for some reason, like maybe Bacon posted that he was on it, and I went on it just to talk to Bacon. I don't even know the name of the channel, but I talked to him maybe like 2 or 3 days ago on there. But Joe Morris is one of the good ones.
Joe is, which hell you've been on when we've been on like fucking Backstream and freaking damn chat and everything. Joe's a hell of a dude. He really is.
Discord from like 7.
Oh yeah, goddamn! I can't remember how long we've been on that son of a bitch because we hit it after DLD got off, so it was like 2:00 in the morning. Then we'd be on fucking Discord till fuck all whatever. It'd finally be like everybody'd be like, okay, I gotta go to sleep.
Again.
Yeah, but damn, all you guys are so cool. I mean, that's the biggest thing with me. Hell, I wish I could have got the fucking Australians on here for a little bit because I still wanted to shoot the shit with him.
I don't know what it is. Like the goddamn Bacon is like has traction in Australia. I don't know why. That's weird to me, but it's cool to me. Like
he's Bacon. Well, you got to figure it. And I told DLD one night. DLD's plugged into a bunch of different communities, prepper communities, gun communities, you name it. I mean, he's plugged into them. Bacon's like that. And I told Bacon one night, he's plugged into so many different. It's got to be the fucking mustache. That's the only thing I can figure. It's got to be the goddamn mustache. They all recognize it from Super Troopers. They all love him. Carl Ramathorn. I mean, that's the only thing I can figure. He's got it going on.
Now, once I start staying out in Arcadia more, Jeff, we should chill because I'll be a lot closer to Sarasota. That's where my property is. But
I seriously have to make it down there to you guys because I gotta meet you in person. I gotta meet Hoff in person. I'll meet Flying Rich on the way back up or something. I bust his balls all the time.
I don't want to break your heart, but I'm not actually this big. Like I'm like
well, you're sitting on stream like this, and I can't.
This room is to 2/3 scale.
Yeah, I can't make my arms that big because you're like, you look like a fucking bullfrog. I'd stab your ass with a fucking frog gig.
Again, yeah. I always used to joke, like I always wondered about like with Top Gun, like when they shot that movie because Tom Cruise is so little, like they had like little like scale like aircraft carrier. That's why it's like so expensive to shoot that movie because they just had to build like all these little.
There's Bacon. You're supposed to be on your own goddamn street. Get in here, you fucking douchebag.
But what are you doing? You didn't bring the fart guy with you, did you?
No. If he brought the Australians, he's cool, but he's got to get his ass in here if he just fucking showed up. because Bacon's fuck me and Bacon have been on stream for son of a bitch, man. It's been like daylight.
Like I said, I was on some channel with Bacon like 2 or 3 days ago. Fucking.
It's still amazing to me how many people he's plugged into. It's got to be the fucking mustache. It's got to be. Either that, he's just throwing that much dick nationwide, worldwide, whatever it is. He's just plugging in everybody.
I mean, people come for the bacon, but they stay for the mustache. I mean, it's kind of like
probably it.
You know, I'm really not. I like to think it's me, but it's really the coyote. You know.
Well, yeah, for you it's the yoke. For Bacon, it's the mustache. I mean, as soon as that Joker started doing the whole roll on Super Troopers, I mean, Bacon had it made.
The mustache is like the octopus's tentacles. Like the mustache hairs are like they're worked out from like every little facet of society. You know,
it's just like what was that movie? Fucking it wasn't Puppet Masters. So yeah, it just like plugs into people and controls them and shit.
Mm-hmm. Like one of the mustache hairs is probably like routed up in here somewhere. It's probably
more than likely. I mean, you probably got one hanging out on the yoke right now. You just don't know it yet.
Yep.
Sooner or later, that Joker's going to be going, "You want to go to Mexico?" Whatever that line was, I can't remember.
I was like, I could have made like an entire like comforter and pillow set out off the hair I got off him today. Like,
son of a bitch. Yeah,
it's getting cold down here, so like I don't know if he's like his hair growth is like just taken off, but it like grows like so fast. I don't know if when it gets hot, it would shed more, but like even getting cold, I guess it's just his hair growth rate like increases, and because like I just noticed on the floor it piles up, so I like took the time like an hour today. I just took him outside and like used all the grooming tools on him, and like man, I had like this trash bag like this big.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Of course, my wife's husky. I think has discovered the fact that I talk a whole lot of shit about the ATF, and she's decided she is now living with my mother and father-in-law. So it's
safe there.
Yeah, she just we drop the kids off at the mother and father-in-laws, drop the dog off, whatever. I'd show up in the afternoon and be like, "Hey, Mia, come on." And she'd be like, "No, fuck you."
Well, that's part of his cover being a coyote. Like if they just run outside and just be a while, like until they leave, and then he'll come back. You know, that way. Because the ATF men kill domesticated dogs. So like as long as he goes out, he just goes out in the woods for a while and becomes a wild coyote, and then come back.
Oh yeah, which a husky. I mean, fuck me running. That dog's got enough fur to clothe everybody in this chat 3 times over. But it got funny because there for a while, my wife would drop the kids off in the morning. I'd pick the kids up in the afternoon. I'd pick the dog up. We'd come home. And then it just got to where my freaking wife's dog, and this is the funny thing, why that dog took up with my wife, because my wife is the cat person. I'm the dog person.
That's funny.
Why she took up with my wife, I have no idea. Besides the fact that huskies are basically cats that think they're dogs. But well, yeah, it just finally got to the point. I'd go to pick the kids up, pick the dog up, and the dog would be like, no, okay, I'm going inside. See you.
The dog howl like if like your phone rings and you don't acknowledge it, or if like he hears like a fire engine or something, because like he'll make the weirdest like noise like this. It's hilarious.
The shepherds I've had in the past, I had a female shepherd, best dog I've ever had in my life. She was a small shepherd. She only topped out at about 45 pounds. That was her max weight. The best shepherd I've ever seen. The male that I had, well, that hard-headed bastard, he topped out at about 120 pounds and was the biggest, most hard-headed son of a bitch I've ever seen in my life. but they were my doggos, like that one. I mean, if I decided I went, if I was going to go to bed, they were going to be right there with me. This this freaking husky, nope, that's my wife's dog. I ain't figured it out yet. You realize he's like, I will sew shit in your shoes later.
He's a good boy. No, never. Like this dog, like I felt so bad sometimes when like I've had him, like not recently, but like in younger years when I've like when I was like my pussy chasing days, and I would like go over to the girlfriend's house,
Oh
like
yeah,
and fucking leave at like 8 o'clock at night, come back at like 11 o'clock the next morning. Like this motherfucker would not piss or shit in the house. Like he's
oh
such a
no,
good dog. Like but like as soon as I'd let him out, he would just like get right onto the grass and then just start
dude.
to be like, "Oh, you poor guy! Like you were like you had to piss so bad, but you waited."
That the female shepherd I had, I knew when I was doing shit like that. Like I had a pair of cowboy boots. I mean, regular Western boots. She chewed the eye loops in them just enough, not to mess them up, but just enough to let me know that I pissed her off. Um, I left her alone one time for a little too long, and when I came home, she looked at me and shit right in the dining room in front of me. I mean, squatted, looking me dead in the eyes and shit. Um, and that was her normal modus operandi whenever I pissed her off from that moment on. I'd be out chasing tail. I'd be gone. I'd be doing my thing. Nope. Come home. All right, buddy, I got something for you. You're gonna clean some shit up.
Yes, favorite. You want some cheese?
You want some cheese?
Favorite snack.
You realize how many people's day you're making right now?
He really is a celebrity. He's
I'm talking about, well, you and him, but because Jesus Christ, man, by the time that damn hurricane hit and everything, everybody, all they wanted to know about was some corn pop. He's a bad dude. Okay, corn pop's okay. Where's the yolk?
he's famous. You're famous. What do you say to the book?
Vanessa has to be one of the biggest. Where's the yolk? You ought to know it already. She'll be like, hey, corn pop, where's the yolk?
So I had a long day. I was very sleepy. A long, tough day laying in the office and chasing rabbits. I'm very tired. Very tired. My job is so tough. I gotta keep all the keep all them damn tigers out of the
When
office and
when you got a
chase
tough
those
day
rabbits.
like that, I mean, look how hard he's been working.
I know he works harder than anybody. Like it's people just don't know how hard it is being a coyote these days. See, he's
Yeah,
yawning.
because
He's exhausted.
most coyotes, well, the ones by me, I tend to want to shoot in the head. Him, on the other hand, he's a cool dude.
Well, I worry when I take him up to my mom's. Like I put a giant ass orange vest on him for that very reason.
I would.
Because I shoot coyotes up there. Like my mom's lost 3 poodles to coyotes up there, so I'll shoot fucking coyotes up there. Like so
Oh,
I
God.
understand my neighbor. Like I won't let him wander far from me, and even when he's like as soon before he goes outside
Yeah,
up there, he gets a giant ass
yeah.
orange vest put on him.
That Joker would look like Elmer Fudd wrapped in orange before I
Yeah.
let him out anywhere.
Because 100 yards away, especially with this tail, he's got like this tail with like the black on it. Like when
Oh yeah,
it's
dude.
he looks
He
like a
would
fucking
be
coyote from 100 yards away.
dude. What was that? There was a uh oh, god damn it, what was it? It was a thing came up on a stream the other day. This chick thought she shot a wolf. What she actually shot was a goddamn husky.
What?
Oh yeah, dude. It was just you'd have to look it up. Look up like chick thinks she shot wolf. Um oh the shit storm behind that. However, If you think you're hunting wolves and a husky walks out, that's not a huge stretch.
I have to look this up. That's
I mean, I've seen like you've seen those like coy wolves. It's like a wolf mixed with a coyote. It's like a giant. It's like a wolf with coyote coloring.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, a kind of coyote like head, like that long, slender snout, and like the
Oh,
black.
trust me, I would take one in a hurry.
Oh yeah,
He
that's
would
a
be my buddy.
a wolf mixed with a coyote. That's a scary creature. Let's see.
Hell, you could give me a full-blooded coyote as long as it was a pup. Yeah, we would make friends. And then I have to teach it how to kill cats.
It's funny, dude. I type in "woman shoots" into Google, and like the next thing is husky.
Yep, that's her.
Did this just recently happen, or what?
Yeah, it was like freaking. It was just a couple of days ago because it popped up on something. I can't remember how it popped up on mine. I think I was just looking at news, and it was
Oh.
like woman shoots fucking husky, and they're like roasting her over it. And I was like, okay. And I looked.
Because it's in New York Post, I'm gonna guess that this was like a Yankee living in Montana. Because like
Yeah.
are up north, but I don't consider them Yankees because they're like wilderness people.
No, I don't think this chick had quite the idea what she was shooting. She thought she was shooting a wolf, and she blasted someone's husky.
Poor dog.
And she's like holding its head up on the tailgate and everything, and it's like,
oh, so she like did the put like even after she walked up there and posted, she's like, "Holy dude, I'm looking at that is so a fucking husky."
no, she thought it was wolf all the way.
Like that is clearly like a domesticated dog, like somebody's pet. Like
no, she thought it was wolf all the way. She posted on Facebook, I shot this wolf, and everybody who looked at it was like, no. Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't just shoot. I was bragging about trapping, killing, so she didn't just shoot it. Like it got trapped. Like
matter of fact, I think she is facing criminal charges over that.
Well, that's yeah. It's got it here fucking laid out. Like fuck.
Yeah,
That's shit. Yeah, that's shitty, man. Like fucking. Like
but
I
she
understand.
didn't know.
If it was attacking her, then it'd be like I understand. But it doesn't seem that way. It seems like she
Oh, she juiced it. She thought she was hunting a wolf, and she thought she'd nailed a wolf. Now, granted, she's not the brightest bulb on the planet. Because God knows if any of us had walked over that, we would have been like, oops. I'm gonna throw some dirt over that. I ain't posting on Facebook. Nope, she posted that shit on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Somebody's looking in town, say like, "Oh yeah, like I saw a carcass out in the woods. Like I think coyotes got it or wolves got
I think that's a buddy of mine. She skinned it. Are you kidding me, Mike?
Yeah, I'm reading it now. She skinned it like fucking.
Oh God. Yeah, it's a long time buddy of mine. If that's him in the chat, if that's you, Mike, Jesus Christ, she skinned it too. Oh God. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mike is an absolute nutbag. He's moving down. Well, he's building. I think he's got his house built down in Florida now.
Oh, nice. Welcome to Florida.
Yeah, Mike's a hell of a dude, man. For fucking shit, serious. He's a hell of a dude.
It's good to know people.
He put it with me in some of the worst times of my life, and he survived. I have no idea how. But yeah, if she skinned it and everything, oh God.
What area of Florida, if you don't mind me asking, Mike? Like North Florida, South Florida, like.
Yeah, I can't remember where he's gonna go. Where he's at in Florida now. I know he's finishing. I know he's finishing up his place. If you need plumbing put in a fucking space shuttle, that motherfucker can do it. And I ain't even shitting you on that. He's a fucking killer dude. Yeah, but
You made me think of it just bringing up this whole wolf getting shot thing. Do you ever watch that? I think it's free on YouTube, but that documentary, like the Bear Man, or like
The one that got himself eaten by the bears.
him and his girlfriend eaten by
Yes.
bears. Yeah, well, like there's a part that like toward the end where he's like he has his tent set up like in between these two fox dens. So they're like these little foxes, and it's kind of like one kind of neat things is he has like these little foxes are almost like his dogs. Like they're stealing hats out of his tent and like carried his hats down like the den. And I don't know why it took me so long to watch it. I saw it for the first time like a year ago, but I rewatched it during one of the things I rewatched during the hurricane when I entered. And like man, like I guess I didn't watch the whole thing through because man, that's a strange dude. Like one, he claimed he was straight.
Yeah.
Like, he had an awfully twangy, different
You think?
voice. Yeah, I think he loved more than just bears. But
Yeah, I think he was. Well, judging. Well, I'll tell you this: if I ran into him in a mall with that voice, the last thing I would be thinking is straight man.
yeah, pretty much. Not to mention he like his. It wasn't like the girl who got eaten with him, but like his girlfriend stuff. Met her at like it was like a what would you call it? Like a theater themed restaurant.
Yeah.
Dress up as like actors, like they have like really silly roles, like that they dress up. Like one dressed up as like Peter Pan or something, and like it's like yep, that fits the profile. Like,
Yeah, that was it was interesting. Well, fuck no, it wasn't interesting. That some bitch wasn't straight.
no.
I'm serious.
Well, the crazy thing is, like, I guess the thing, because like I got might be like kind of morbid, but there's that tape that they have. It's like because when him and his wife got attacked, there was like 6 minutes, like as soon as like he knew that because the bear, like if you seen it, like the bear that's
Almost done.
like
Lake
that
County.
probably killed him is like the one that's in the last bits of his like where he's filming it because it was like they were there and then they left and they were gonna go fly away and something his ticket got messed up so they went back there and like it was 2 weeks past season that they usually are there so like most of the bears are in hibernation so the only bears that are still around are like the ones that are older and like are super hungry they still haven't gotten food yet to hibernate and that's like the one bear that's around there and it's crazy that like when they got attacked like he turned the camera on record and didn't take the lens cap off, but there's supposedly like 6 minutes of recording of like just god awful, like them getting eaten and like it's yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, Mike said he's what did he say in Lake County?
Okay, was that up near Lakeland? I'm trying to think where the hell. Let me see. It's not ringing a bell yet. Let me see.
That fucker, he's the one like that blew me out of the goddamn rafters one time doing plumbing work.
Okay, yeah, that's a good area. Like I like that area. Like up around like Central Florida.
Yeah,
So,
Mike's a fucking hell of a dude for sure. Like I said, he tried to kill me a few times, but he's a hell of a dude.
well, that's understandable. I think the first time
I'd try to kill me too, but
that
that fucker. We were working on a house. God damn, where were we at? We were in Harris County or somewhere north of us. And I was running all the PVC in the attic, and he was running all the copper underneath. Which is simple. I mean, you just he's a master two plumber. The dude knows what he's doing. But he ran the torch across the fucking right at the opening of the PVC. Now I got it filled with PVC glue. And PVC glue is pretty goddamn flammable. And I'm in the rafters right above him. And all I hear is the pipe start to suck wind. And I lean back. And as soon as I did, that shit shot a fucking flame into the ceiling. And some bitch go, Coop, you okay? Yeah, motherfucker, I'm all right. Yeah. Mike is a fucking. How does your wife put up with you, Mike? That's all I want to know. Well, technically I figured it out because my wife puts up with me, but
Well,
yeah.
I think I've got to jump off here. I realize it's 5:19 in the morning. I got to do something at like 8 o'clock, so I'm going to try to get.
Yeah, I'm gonna bounce here in just a second too. But Corn Pop, man, dude, everybody's been worried about you. Everybody loves you. Everybody loves the Yote. Dude, I'm glad to see you. I really am.
It's good, and you're good people, Coop. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, don't say that too loud because someone will get the wrong impression.
Yeah, gotta keep that under wraps.
Yeah, keep it under wraps. Mike, don't you say a goddamn word, you motherfucker. But yeah, dude. Everybody knows Corn Pop in the stream. Corn Pop. Okay, Yote done woke up now. You're gonna get your ass kicked.
Listen, the show's over. We got. What are you barking at? What's wrong? You got up too quick. That's why you're limping. You got to stretch first before you get up. It's very important.
How old is Yote getting now?
She might be 10 years old now.
Oh God,
yeah. I've been saying I think he is 10 now because I've been saying he's 9. He's either because his birthday, if you will. I don't know exactly when he was born, but it's around September, October. So I want to say I just have to look up the year. It's either 9 or 10. I'm thinking it's 10 now because I've been saying all of the last year that it was 9. I got to go look at old pictures on Facebook when I first got him because that's how I date him, or look at like his old vet records. But I think he's 10 now. But he's still a young whippersnapper. He's just stiff because he just got up. He's not.
Yeah, well, I understand that shit. I get up too fast.
Even I do at this age. Like it's
dude, you're fucking 34, you jackass.
Yeah, but I still, man, I could like have fallen out of a tree from 60 feet up and drank all night and. Dude, God knows what else.
34, I could have fallen out of a tree, fucked all night, and drank all night, and I felt that bad.
And then I could just drink a beer and drink like a 5-hour energy, like when I was like in my early 20s, and be like, I'm good, like I'm ready to go.
That's shower beer territory. That's where you're like an hour away from going to work, and you're like, fuck, I can still drink one more.
Now it's like if I just lay wrong in bed, and even if I get like a full. 6-7 hours of sleep, and I wake up next morning. I'm just like, oh man, I can't do this. I can't get up.
Wait till you hit your 40s, you fucker. But seriously, I seriously got to get down there and visit you one day, though. Just
man.
Out, man.
I'll get up that way, man. Like I fucking, I got a buddy over in Texas that I'm trying to fucking visit. So like if I ever head that way anytime soon, I'm gonna come make a pit stop over that way.
Yeah, well, yeah, dude. If you ever find your happy ass out of Florida headed up through Alabama, you'll probably run right past my ass. If I don't run down to you first, because let's face it, you are a fine piece of man meat.
Oh, Jesus. Now you're taking it too far now.
I always take things too far.
You do, Coop. All right. Well, in a completely non-homosexual way, I love you, brother.
Hey, I love you too, man. Glad you're okay. Glad the Yote's okay. Get some rest, brother, and we will catch you on the next one.
Hey, later, guys. Have a good night, Coop.
Yeah, brother. Later on, man. So, Corn Pop's out. Corn Pop is okay. And God knows all of us have been fucking worried about his ass for a while. And yeah, Mike, I seriously don't know how she puts up with you. And has for a very long time, which I don't know how my wife puts up with me. I have no idea. Hey, why the fuck are you up this early anyway, Mike? Are you going hunting or are you just up? That's what I want to know. And for you guys in the chat that don't know BV, everybody else, Mike Watley is a guy who knows me personally and has known me for a very long time. God love him. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he didn't kill me back in the day. I still don't know why he hasn't killed me in my sleep to this day. But all of you guys, this is Mike. If you haven't met him before, Mike, this is everybody. Bunch of cool dudes. Cool dude. Y'all shake hands and come out swinging. Hell, I don't fucking know. Dude, Mike, I still have to. Oh, fuck me running, man. Let's just put it this way. There's a lot of shit I still got to fucking do. A lot. I still got to finish up a cut for someone else who passed not too long back. I'm only 36. BV, you're only 36. God damn it, man. I thought you were older than that. I'm going to have Mike go break your knees, or Mike McClune go break your knees or something. Hell, if Mike Watley goes breaks your knees, he's going to do it with a cheeseburger. Ain't saying that's a bad thing. But speaking of Mike, when the fuck are you supposed to be down here close to me again? Because you said you were going to be down here fucking sometime this hunting season. BB like, no shit. Yeah, fucking McClune's like my age. Watley ain't too far from me. Fucking crawled. Midlife crisis. Ain't none of y'all right in the goddamn head. I love every one of you, but ain't none of y'all right. Well, that's probably why I love you guys, because ain't none of y'all right in the head. You're always up by 5. I ain't. I'm typically going to sleep by 5, Mike. Well, that's normal. Fuck, it's been that way for years. So, by the way, Mike, when are you going to bring your happy ass back up here by me? Because you said you of course, you're still hunting and stuff up here, so it's fucking deer season. You ain't right in the fucking head. Damn, I love that cat. You guys that are in the chat with me for a while, yeah, old Mikey Watley has done more for me than fucking I can goddamn admit. So, speaking of Mikey Watley, Tim, I still got to call his ass back because he's still got my fucking crossbow from gator season. He decided he was hunting with someone else, so what can I say? Anyway, Mikey, how is the wife and the kids? Because, goddamn, how old is fucking Colin now, dude? Yeah, dude. Yeah, Mike. Yeah, I don't suffer from mental illness. I pretty much enjoy the shit out of it. Eat some Cerakote? That's a possibility, home skillet, because I got the Cerakote now. Up next week. Good deal. Yeah, dude, hit me up when you hit town, man. Man, I realize you're Mike is a freaking monster and runs multiple things, so we haven't got together for a while, but yeah, dude, hit me up when you hit town, man. If nothing else, hell, we'll grab a beer and grab a fucking burger, man. It's been forever. Shit, anything like that. And why the hell you still fucking pay attention to me? I have no idea. This motherfucker. Mike taught me how to do plumbing work, which is coming awful handy in my life in quite a few situations. And I don't know how the son of a bitch didn't kill me a long time ago. Fuck, man, I wasn't even. Hell, I think I was about 22 at the time. God damn you, motherfucker. We've known each other for a while. BV, I love you. You are my friend. Kinda, sorta, maybe. Not really. And hell, all you guys are a hoot. I'm gonna get out of here. It is fucking 5:30 in the goddamn morning. I gotta be up in just a little while. I say it quite simply, and you guys should all know it by now. Be cool. Keep that thing on you at all times. We'll catch up on the next one. Mikey, you motherfucker, you better let me know when you get to town. Because I seriously owe you a lot, brother. I really do. The rest of you motherfuckers, on the other hand, I don't know y'all shit, but smart ass answers and a bunch of shit. So, dude, if you will do plumbing or do electrical and not plumbing, you need your brains knocked out because electrical's way better. In electrical, you don't have big ass turds come fly down and hit you in the face. Just saying, shit happens. But nah, man, I do. I love all you guys. You guys are fucking awesome. Jeff, BV, Mike McClune, Luminous, Mike Watley, you motherfucker. You got my goddamn number. I really do love all you guys. So I'm out. You guys take it easy. Keep that thing on you at all times. And by thing, I mean shit that goes bang and will protect your life in case of some emergency event. And I really do. I seriously do love you guys. So y'all be cool. I'm out before I get all tearful and I start like crying and shit like that. And Mike Watley, you motherfucker, again, you got my goddamn number. Colin 23, Victoria 6. Fuck me running. I'm a fucking old fat bastard. Yeah, Mike. Bastard, you got my goddamn number. I love you guys. I really do. I'm out. Y'all take them easy.